back to business and get back to what I do and what I've done in this horrible economic climate. And as I tell you who I am Myraline Morris Whitaker. My company is called the Central Coast of California Hospitality. And what we do is we go through, and we say Central Coast of California because that's where we want to be. We don't want to lose sight of the fact that we are a small company and we want to work with the hospitality industry here. It started off being the Central Coast of California hotels. But people were using my skill set in areas I hadn't intended them to do so. Which was quite lovely because they were understanding my skill set better than I did and also wanted to pay me fees to do work for them. And they were a pleasure to serve, so I couldn't say no to them. So instead of just working in hotels, I ended up working with universities and their conference and event planning departments. I worked with developers who were thinking of putting hotels in this area. I worked with cities who were looking to put hotels in their areas, helping them to write RFPs so that developers would understand what they meant. I've worked with lenders who were taking over hotels and try to make them better, because obviously, as if you heard in the today's paper today, front page, owners slow hotels, and this has been going on quite a while. This is the third hotel that's in default right now. So it's oftentimes that I would get a call from a lender saying, we need feet on the ground in that area, because oftentimes the lenders are not here. So I grew a nice business because times were tough, and people were coming to me. And it doesn't matter for the kind of business that I do, and my focus is going to be on hospitality, but you can take it into your level of business as well, your discipline. But I made myself valuable in tough times, and I made myself valuable in good times. If the times are good, we have a cycle. Everybody knows what the hospitality cycle is. So you go in and pitch yourself for when it's going to be bad again, because it's going to be bad again. And if the times are bad, this is how you get through it. This is how you manage. This is how you can eliminate some costs. This is how you can have increased sales during these times that are difficult. There's not good news. You read the papers, you hear the news. There's just not good news on the U.S. economy front. And these are the indicators that people use to indicate whether the economy is strong or not. They are looking at job loss and unemployment. They're looking at foreclosures, bank charge-offs, and looking at your household. If you don't feel comfortable enough to go out and shop for those big ticket items, if you're not getting on a plane and going travel and having that dream vacation, we're not getting back out of recovery. But these are the indicators that are still saying that they're still tough. And there's not any good news until 2011. And when I heard this in 2009, I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be a tough couple of years. It's going to be tough for a lot of people. And obviously, my industry is suffering quite a bit. But again, it's not bad news for me. So don't look at all the economic indicators and say, I can't start a business, I can't be viable. You have to work through it and know the industry. But there's also good news that you live in the coastal California area. And this is why it's important that you entrepreneurs out here, you came here, you visited, you went to school here, and you say, I want to stay here. So you do whatever it takes to stay here and to make it work. And that's why we've had such great companies coming out of this community. And it has a great entrepreneurial spirit along the Central Coast, along the California coastline. And it hasn't fared poorly, as poor as the rest of the state. So as we go to look onto our region, we'll see that we have reason to celebrate living in San Luis Obispo County. Our unemployment is lower than California and the nation. California's at 12.4, San Luis Obispo 9.4, our neighboring community, Santa Barbara's low as well, under 10%, but Monterey, 16% unemployment. And these figures are as of January. So we have fewer failing businesses in SLO County, and we have fewer home foreclosures in San Luis Obispo County. And there's even better news on the next slide, that there are some industries that are doing well. Historically in this county, the state had the top, number one employees were working for the state, and we know that's not doing well. You know, Cal Poly's on furlough. I'm not sure what they're doing at the Atascadero Hospital, California Municipality, Caltrain's, Camp Roberts, Camp San Luis, Cuesta. All of them have had some kind of direction towards furloughing, at least getting some less salary every month. But there are some that are strong. Agriculture, people still have to eat. So we do well in that. And it is what we do here, and probably the more economic generators to this area are agriculture and tourism. And tourism is interesting because people, I think we're located just at the right place, 3 hours from two major metropolitan areas, San Francisco and Los Angeles. And honestly, the Central Valley just takes us in their backyard anyway, so we get a lot of business from them. And in the tough economic times, I think they're not taking the big trips overseas or to Hawaii, but they are going somewhere. Last year, you remember they had the staycation. Well, you just wanted to stay closer to home and realize that you've got some wonderful things here. And I think a lot of those people from Los Angeles area decided that we were a better value than going to San Diego or Orange County or even Santa Barbara, and it's the same ocean. So they could have a wonderful experience by just going a few hours away and spending a little less money. We also have technical, because it's a clean industry, and a lot of the businesses do well here because of their connection, as Ken said, to the university, to the colleges, and they have a labor force sort of built in here. We have, as you know, look at around this room, the highest percentage of sole proprietors in California are in San Luis Obispo County. I had one statistic that say 94% of all new businesses are sole proprietors. So that's an interesting thing. And also, the Tribune did an article a few weeks ago on businesses that were sustainable during the recession. The person in energy was one of them, technical, medical. Medical is really big in this area, and aviation. I don't know if anybody's thinking about that just yet, but those are really big.